Hello everybody, and welcome back to our 6th episode. Today we're going to take a little sidestep and start working on our base, at least a little bit of it. I just want to get away from that raid farm we've been doing. I'm almost done with that item sorter, I just have to get some more wheat and get some more iron from our sorters, which isn't very difficult, and we will get finished by the end of the episode. But for this one, I just wanted we get to do something new and actually start building around us. And later in the episode, I want to just start building a big road to here, into the villagers, which that would be nice. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna get it done. This shouldn't take too long. It depends how quick I even get this. I want it to be like a special shape, but not a shape that's too bad, which can be tricky, but we eventually end up getting something. For this series, we're gonna go for a more medieval style, which I've never really done. Really, I usually just do random stuff and mold it into one, but it'll be fun to see how this eventually works out. Right now, we're just going on top of our head. Just randomly placing blocks. That is how I'm gonna do a couple of my builds. That's how I want to do this first one, just to see how it goes, which shouldn't be too bad. The most of it was just going back and forth to get all this wool, which it's kind of annoying, but we're gonna end up needing it later, which is real useful. And this base is gonna be stone, which we're gonna start building up later, which I got this stone from many places while starting to build trying to decorate our mine, which I'll show you guys later. It wasn't the most difficult thing, but we ended up actually getting it look decent and not just a hole in the wall. We just have done inside for right now. Right now we mostly just freeballing, seeing how this works out. We're definitely need more stone, which I'm probably just gonna get all that stone off camera, which is it's just annoying. And we're probably gonna end up having like a huge hole in the house, which could actually end up being pretty cool. It depends how big the hole is, mostly stuff like that. It's pretty nice to actually start playing this game with the enchanted tools again. It's starting to get us a lot more fast. And we gotta find a horse again so we can start exploring the world. We haven't been very far out yet, but that isn't real bad for right now. We don't even have a base. And over here, I have ideas like bringing villagers over so we can put them like a house with food, because right now our food is basically just eat rotten flesh till we actually need it desperately. But that's something that needs to be fixed. But right now we're just gonna build this base. I'm not sure if I'm gonna strictly do medieval around our whole little place, but that might change depending how I see this, or if I get a gaming laptop, we might start a different series over there. It depends how I start it, and if I just start it regularly, or I go to like a Cobblemon mod, which is definitely gonna change how we're gonna attack this. But I'm still gonna try to post this series regularly, like once every 1 or 2 weeks. We're actually gonna do more of a thriving civilization, less like it's still gonna be medieval, but not exactly ruled by king, have no money medieval. More like just back in the old days, which is it can change depending how we feel. And if you have a different idea about it, you can post in the comments. It's just, it could change any second now. But I gotta get more stone. And right now I should probably get some. I'm gonna get the stone from downstairs so we can get we can actually have a big basement, which would be real good for getting more storage. And we can actually put stuff down there. We can put a villager down there so we can get some good food. And mostly just design this the way we want to. But I'll just come back when I get all the stone right now. This build is actually coming by pretty well, depending that we haven't really designed anything. I just kind of looked at pictures of medieval houses, some Minecraft designs to give me some inspiration, and just have an overall idea of what I wanted with this build. That's mostly what it was about. For this series, I'm not sure if I'm gonna revert it over to Java. That could work, or it could like just try to do both series at once. That would probably make it where we have a Bedrock version, then Java version every other week, and it might just spread it out. But just you guys can tell me how you feel about the situation. But we'll just go about that later. This build is actually we decided to use a more monotone kind of style, which it is a very like basic one. Right here, I thought of idea like a porch, but that it was simply just not enough room inside or outside to even make it worthwhile, and it just kind of looked terrible from the back, which I eventually just fixed later, which was kind of a pain, but I just eventually figured out what I'm gonna do with it. Scaffolding would be a big help with this, with just building in regular, cause I just been using any block I had. You can see I used all that blue wool just to get a couple blocks up. Now we're just gonna get a frame in so we can get a idea of how this build is gonna finally end up looking out. Right now we're not using very difficult blocks to get, with this being more of a starter base, which we're not really starting. It's just finally we need somewhere to. I just been neglecting this part of the world, and I just thought we'd take this first part of the video to give some attention to it, and finally give it one of its first builds. Overall, I think this build is just gonna be a solid one, and hopefully I can overshine it with my other ones later. And I just want to build this world. Right here, we can have like a medieval town, and depending how we feel later, we can morph what we really want into different towns, like in different areas, which should help us get less burnt out and expand a style without making the world look cluttered and like I just built random stuff all around, made it look disorganized. That could easily be fixed with the idea of different towns, but it depends. One I would like is like a tropical town near a beach with big boats around everywhere and having huge palm trees, which would be fun to do, but that'd be in a long while. I'm still thinking if I would bring this world over to Java. That would be pretty good. We could keep our progress. Probably lose almost all our items. I don't exactly know how you would get them through, but overall, just think that it would be the better thing to do. Well, while helping us bring more ideas into the world, that we have better possibilities on a stronger device for this game. Why not being stuck on the PS4 version? Overall, I think this build came out pretty good, thinking that a lot of it was done off the mind and just from experience of building these builds before. The only thing I didn't do off the mind was the roof, because I knew there was going to be problems with it sticking out. So I wanted to attack that head on in a different world. And that's exactly what I did, which is pretty good. For the details right now, we're just gonna give them a little shutters, and that's mostly what I'm about to just do with this video. We ended up putting a spiral staircase in there to reach all our layers. We have the first floor, the second floor, and this attic I'm gonna use for more of a storage space, which would be a good idea to do in a later time. Now that we're done with the now that we're done with the house build, I'm gonna start working on an item sorter for our raid farm, and I'll just skip till I have that done right now. This wasn't very difficult. Now I'm just gonna make some improvements to it off camera so we can get it fully working, and that it'll just be easy. But for this, I'm gonna try to get it as stacked as I can. So if we ever do switch this version over to Java, we can just make those into blocks. So we have those off the start. The problem with switching to Java is all the items we have get deleted, and this redstone just won't work. The raid farm won't work, so we're gonna have to just destroy that and make a new one. But that's just for a later time, probably in a couple episodes, maybe in the next one, depends how quickly these come out, which isn't very difficult, but just a pain. And another thing is, with going up the Java version, we can start making different types of farms. A raid farm would be a lot more efficient. The iron farms would be a lot more efficient, and we could have a what is it? Anything else, honestly. A gold farm, that's what it was. On another roof that I could never do in this version, which is something to look out for. But we'll just get to that when we're there. The wall is gonna be very basic, just a good size to keep us safe. Later in here, you're gonna see especially why we need this wall, because at night it just gets packed with monsters everywhere, which is really annoying. And I honestly don't know how much of them spawn so quickly. Yeah. This wall, it's probably gonna take the rest of the episode. We're not gonna finish it because how much wood we need to just do it, but we're gonna get a good chunk of it done. It's gonna be a couple episode thing, do it here and there. It's not gonna be a real big project, but just something on the sides to keep us busy while we wait. This wall is probably going to become irrelevant if we ever switch to Java, because we're just going to have to build a whole nother raid farm like out in the ocean. But this can be like a memorial to when we're on Bedrock, and we can build like a better raid village here, which could be fun. It just depends what happens. And at the end of it, if we do switch over, we can just take all those materials we just made for the auto sorter and probably put it into another redstone build. I'm not sure what yet. I don't know much about Java Redstone, but I just know that you can get a lot more stuff a lot quicker, which it's gonna be a good thing. I'm thinking about building a stacked raid farm, but when we do switch over, that's gonna be put aside, because we're gonna need to get all our materials again and find our way back to the base, which shouldn't be very difficult because we set our little point like right by the base, which is overall a good thing. Going future in this channel, I want to start a Cobblemon playthrough with a couple more mods in there just to switch things up have one of those like half a week, then this half a week. It just depends on what really happens. With this wall, we finally get it's just basically like a circle, and the wood's gonna be up different heights. Near the end, I'm thinking of putting like some slabs on top, which just for decoration, some stalactites. I remember seeing this on a couple of videos. Ever since I've been using it, because it's just a good design. It's easy. The only thing is a lot of logs, which can be a pain, but we'll eventually get through it. And if you later, if you want me to post any different types of videos, just post it down in the comments. I'll read them and see how I feel about it. I'm thinking about posting some Palworld stuff. That'll probably be in like at least a month. It depends how life goes, honestly, but just put that aside and let's get right back to this. Good thing is these spruce trees grow so big you can get like 2 stacks in one tree. I'm gonna need to get some enchantments on my axe if I want to get this done quicker. It's just gonna be a little longer if I don't, which isn't a bad thing. But when we switch over to Java, that episode's mostly gonna be about getting villagers again because everything's gonna just disappear. We're gonna have to do some cleanup before we do. Like make all our shulker shells and the shulker boxes so those don't just go away. And try ways to at least bring back some inventory. Right here you can see why we're starting to need a wall. They just show up from everywhere, and this is just the beginning of it. I could barely even get past this tree without getting jumped by 1,000 different things, which is hopefully we can fix that and we can get this all lit up. I was planning to do that on this episode. I just never got to it because I never got the coal. But it's definitely something we should focus on, just for our safety. You actually notice I got my food situation sorted. Up in the raid farm, I just put one butcher over there so we can get some quick and easy food. Over here you can see I couldn't even build the wall without getting hit by these skeletons. If I didn't have Smite 5, that would have been a problem. That gets a lot worse around here because everything just piles up on me, and we just run out of there. And I didn't even have my sound on. And it's getting to where that's all the time we have today. Next episode, we're gonna plan on doing the wall more, doing some material for the base, getting our materials actually in here, and just getting ready. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.